They want to do the right thing. They want to be blessed. Do I have what I'm saying? And so, when we don't, as Christian believers and church members, support the work of God according to the biblical pattern that He has already laid by us, we are really saying that we don't respect God and we don't respect His way. Believe it or not, we show how much we care about God by how much we give. I know I'm going to need a police escort out here tonight, but that's all right. But listen, we show how much we care about God by how much we give. Let me tell you something. It's going to swing a little bit. It's going to help you. Listen, you can sing in the choir. You can usher. You can shout all over the church. Run all over the church. And make $35,000 a year on your job, $50,000 a year on your job, but yet when the offering time comes and you're still putting $2 on the table, something's wrong with somebody. Something wrong with somebody. You make $50,000 a year, $30,000, $25,000, it don't matter. You still putting $3 on the table, something wrong with your relationship somewhere. Repeat after me. We show how much we care. How much we give. And so the first question needs to be asked tonight, just give me 7 more minutes, is what are tithes? Listen. Tithe is God's way of financing the church. God's way of financing the church. God's way of financing the church is not selling chicken dinners. A chicken didn't die on the cross for our sins. But God's way of financing the church is through tithes and offerings. Tithing, watch this. Tithing is Christian gratitude. Let's just say Christian gratitude. Tithing is Christian gratitude. Lord, I thank you for what you have done. Lord, I can't repay you, but at least I'm going to try. Tithing is a believer. Let's just say a believer. That makes a difference now. Is a believer giving a portion of his wealth to the Lord by faith. Let's just say by faith. Listen. Tithing asks the question, how grateful am I? How grateful am I? It's a dime of every dollar that you make or have coming in. And so let me ask you a question tonight. Is God worth a dime to you? Now, let me give me some more minutes. The first time that the word tithe appears in the Bible is in Genesis chapter 14, verse 20. I'm not going to go through that now. You need to write that down. Genesis chapter 14, verse 20. That's the first time the word tithe was mentioned in the Bible. And everything we do in the church needs to be traced back historically in the Word of God. Do I have a witness? You ought to be a witness. Everything we do in the church, you ought to be able to trace it back historically in the Word of God. Do I have a witness to him? Now, the question needs to be asked tonight is, why is it that some Christians don't tithe? Well, lots of Christians don't tithe too because they have been taught to tithe. Now listen now. Some we have been taught to tithe. Listen, as a matter of fact, most of the problems that we have in the church today, Pastor Blood, is simply because of ignorance. Many of us have held offices and positions in the church for years and years, but even today, we still act like we don't know what we're doing. And the reason we act like we don't know what we're doing because we really don't know what we're doing. Because we don't go to Bible study, we don't come to Sunday school, and we don't go to no Christian education conferences. So if you ain't going nowhere to try to get those teachers, you really don't know what you're doing. Somewhere down the line in our Black Baptist churches, there's been a lack of teaching. Let me tell you. Tithing must be taught from the pulpit. Are y'all with me? If a church is going to be a 100% tithing church, the pastor must first be a tither. Simply because you can't lead from behind. If you hold an office in the church, you ought to be a tither. If you're a member of the church, you ought to be a tither. You should be a tither. Our text in Malachi tells us that, watch this now, it tells us we are not tithers, we are robbers. That's That's not Nettles. That's in the Bible. Don't get mad at Nettles. I'm just a mailman. I'm still living to you what the mail is. Well, it says that we are robbers. The word rob, the church say rob. It used 3 times in verse 8. Now, let me say this. Now, I'm going to sit down. You do know there's a difference between a thief and a robber. You know that, don't you? There's a difference between a thief and a robber. A thief will wait till you gone from your house. A thief will wait till you gone from your car and then steal what you got. But a robber don't care. He will rob your house. He will come in here and say, stick it up. And I just believe that a lot of our churches, right here at First Baptist, Roller Sharing, Gospel Temple, I believe that the Sunday morning stick up every Sunday, and a lot of our churches, they rob. And Malachi is saying that we are Christians and we are not tithing, we are robbers. But finally, let me put it in a nutshell. The reason that, now listen, I'm trying to help you now. Listen. The reason that most Christians don't tithe is because they simply don't want to. They simply don't want to. Mainly because, let me tell you why they don't want to. Because mainly because a lot of them just don't have the faith. If you're not a tither, a lot of times you really don't have the faith. Listen, it takes faith to tithe. Oh, yes, it does. Yeah, you can take that 10% and put it on your rent, put it on your bill, buy a car, whatever you need to do. You can actually take that 10% and do something else that you feel like that you really need to do. But let me tell you something. You have to have faith to tithe. It takes literally standing on God's word. To tithe. Listen, and you know what? I thank God that God tells us to tithe because you know what? That's when we just got to stand on these 6 books. Yes, sir. Do I have a little thing? Huh? So it takes faith to tithe. And I discovered, listen. I discovered that we would trust God for a lot of things. But some of us will not trust Him when it comes down to us money. I'm a college graduate, but I said us money because it's good preaching and us money. Listen, well, now watch this now. Now I know how black folks feel because I've been black 3 times. I was a black baby, I was a black boy, and I'm a black man. So I know how black folks feel. Listen, we will trust Him and stand on His word if our family is sick. Our family and I see you, boy, we be having prayer meetings out at St. Vincent's Baptist Hospital. We going out and pray. And we trusting God that God is going to bring Mama out. He's going to bring Dad out. He's going to bring Grandma out. We will trust Him on Sunday's word for another job. Lord, you know I need a job. Lord, I'm trusting and standing on your word. If our child has gotten in trouble, if our child's gone astray, we will trust God to bring that child back home. If we are broke, we will trust Him to bring us a little money. But when it comes down to giving Him money, a dime over every dollar, some of us just don't have the faith. Just don't have the faith to do it. Now, let me ask you a question. Is God worth a dime to you? Let me say this. Pastor Lord is coming. Let me say this. For those of you who don't tithe, I don't blame you. I really don't. For those of you who don't tithe, I don't blame you. Because you know what? If God hadn't done nothing for me, I don't do it either. If He hadn't done nothing for me, I wouldn't do this. But let me tell you something. If He woke you up this morning, if He started you on your way,